AITA for cutting all ties with my brother after he tried to frame me because he's in love with my wife. Before we got to the story, I plan to give away 100 USD to whoever has the best opinion regarding this matter. So stay tuned, and I'll announce the winner in the few next videos. You only have to post your opinion on the comment below and consider to like and subscribe so that you'll not miss the announcement and many other future giveaway. Thanks, and back to the story. I'm 30 years old, male. Never thought I'd be writing a post like this. The events of the past few months have turned my life upside down and left me questioning everything I thought I knew about family, loyalty, and trust. I'm still struggling to process what happened, but I'll do my best to explain the situation. My younger brother, Jake, 28 years old, and I have always been close. Growing up, we were inseparable despite our 3-year age gap. We shared friends, hobbies, and dreams. Even as adults, we remained best friends, talking almost daily and spending most weekends together. Jake was my best man at my wedding 4 years ago, and I always imagined we'd be in each other's lives forever. My wife, Sarah, entered the picture about 6 years ago when we met through mutual friends. From the moment I introduced her to Jake, I noticed something off about their interactions. Jake seemed overly attentive to Sarah, always finding reasons to talk to her or be near her at family gatherings. At first, I brushed it off as him being friendly and welcoming to my then-girlfriend. As time went on and Sarah and I got more serious, Jake's behavior became increasingly strange. He would call or text her frequently, often with flimsy excuses about needing advice or help with something. He started showing up unannounced at our apartment, always with some reason why he just happened to be in the neighborhood. Sarah mentioned feeling uncomfortable with his attention a few times, but we both tried to give Jake the benefit of the doubt. After all, he was my brother, and we didn't want to accuse him of anything inappropriate. When I proposed to Sarah, Jake's reaction was odd. He congratulated us, but there was a tightness in his voice and a forced quality to his smile that I couldn't ignore. During the wedding planning, he threw himself into helping with an almost manic energy. Looking back, I realize he was trying to insert himself into every aspect of our relationship. The wedding day itself was perfect, but there was a moment during Jake's best man speech that still haunts me. He talked about how lucky I was to have found Sarah, how she was the perfect woman, and how any man would be fortunate to have her in his life. The way he looked at her as he said those words sent a chill down my spine. Sarah squeezed my hand under the table, and I knew she felt it too. After the wedding, things seemed to calm down for a while. Jake started dating someone, and we all breathed a collective sigh of relief, hoping his fixation on Sarah had just been loneliness or misplaced affection. For about a year, everything was normal. We settled into married life, Jake seemed happy with his girlfriend, and our family dynamics returned to something resembling normalcy. Then, about 6 months ago, Jake's girlfriend broke up with him. Took it hard, becoming withdrawn and moody. He started showing up at our house more frequently again, often late at night and sometimes smelling of alcohol. Sarah and I tried to be supportive, but we were also growing increasingly uncomfortable with his behavior. One night, Jake came over unannounced while Sarah was out with friends. He was clearly drunk and became emotional, confessing that he had always been in love with Sarah and that he thought she had made a mistake marrying me. I was shocked and angry, telling him he needed to leave and get help. He left, but not before saying something that chilled me to the bone. "You don't deserve her. You'll see. She'll realize I'm the better choice." I told Sarah about the incident when she got home, and we agreed to distance ourselves from Jake for a while. We stopped inviting him over and declined his invitations to hang out. When we saw him at family events, we kept our interactions polite but brief. Jake seemed to get the message and backed off, or so we thought. About 2 months ago, my world came crashing down. I was arrested at work, accused of embezzling a large sum of money from the company where I've been employed for the past 8 years. I was completely blindsided. I had never stolen a penny in my life, let alone hundreds of thousands of dollars from my employer. The evidence against me seemed overwhelming. There were transfers from company accounts to an offshore account in my name, emails that appeared to be from me discussing the theft, and even security camera footage that showed someone who looked like me accessing the company's financial systems late at night. I maintained my innocence, but things looked bad. I was suspended from work pending an investigation, and the stress took a toll on my marriage. Sarah stood by me, but I could see the doubt in her eyes. How could she not wonder, with all the evidence piling up against me? As I sat in a holding cell waiting for my lawyer to arrive, I racked my brain trying to figure out what had happened. That's when a chilling thought occurred to me. Jake's words the night of his drunken confession. "You'll see. She'll realize I'm the better choice." No, I thought. He couldn't have. My own brother wouldn't do this to me. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Jake had the motive, and as a software engineer, he certainly had the skills to fake emails and financial records. I shared my suspicions with my lawyer, who was skeptical, but agreed to look into it. Over the next few weeks, as I was out on bail and the investigation continued, we started to uncover the truth. My lawyer hired a forensic computer expert who found subtle inconsistencies in the faked emails and financial records. The security camera footage, when examined closely, showed signs of digital manipulation, but the real breakthrough came when my lawyer's investigator tracked down the person Jake had hired to impersonate me in the manipulated security footage. This person, facing charges himself, agreed to testify against Jake in exchange for leniency. The house of cards Jake had built came tumbling down. He was arrested, and during questioning, he broke down and confessed to everything. He had been planning this for months, maybe even years. He thought that if I was in prison for a long time, he would have a chance with Sarah. He convinced himself that she would realize her mistake in choosing me and turn to him for comfort and support. I was exonerated, of course. My employers apologized profusely and offered me my job back with a raise. But the damage was done. My reputation had been smeared, my marriage strained, and my trust in my own brother shattered beyond repair. Sarah was horrified when she learned the truth. She blamed herself for not taking Jake's earlier behavior more seriously, for not pushing me to confront him sooner. I assured her it wasn't her fault. None of us could have imagined Jake would go to such extreme length. Now Jake is facing serious criminal charges. Our parents are devastated, torn between their love for both their sons and the undeniable evidence of what Jake did. They've begged me to forgive him, to speak on his behalf at his trial, but I can't bring myself to do it. The betrayal runs too deep. I've cut all ties with Jake. I've blocked his number, returned all his letters unopened, and made it clear to our family that I want nothing to do with him ever again. Sarah and I are in therapy, trying to rebuild the trust that was shaken by this ordeal. We're also planning to move to a new city, hoping for a fresh start, away from the whispers and sidelong glances of people who still wonder if there was some truth to the accusations against me. Some family members think I'm being too harsh. They argue that Jake needs help, not punishment, and that cutting him off completely is cruel. They point out that he's still my brother, that we have a lifetime of memories and experiences that shouldn't be erased by one, admittedly huge mistake. But I can't see it that way. To me, what Jake did goes beyond a mistake or a lapse in judgment. It was a calculated, long-term plan to destroy my life for his own benefit. He was willing to see me imprisoned, my career ruined, and my marriage potentially destroyed, all because he couldn't accept that Sarah chose me. How can I ever trust him again after that? At the same time, I'd be lying if I said this decision doesn't weigh on me. Despite everything, there's a small part of me that misses my brother, that mourns the relationship we once had. I have moments of doubt where I wonder if I'm being too unforgiving, if there's any way to salvage even a fraction of our former closeness. So, Reddit, I turn to you for perspective. AITA, for cutting all ties with my brother after what he did? Am I justified in my decision? Or am I allowing anger and hurt to cloud my judgment? Did I consider giving him another chance once he served his time? Or is maintaining this distance the healthiest choice for me and my marriage? Some additional points to consider. Jake has been diagnosed with depression and obsessive tendencies while in custody. Some family members argue that his mental health issues mitigate his actions somewhat. Our parents' health has declined significantly since this all happened. They're begging for a reconciliation before it's too late. Sarah is supportive of whatever decision I make, has made it clear she never wants to see or speak to Jake again. I'm worried about the long-term effects of this estrangement on our extended family dynamic, especially during holidays and important life events. Jake's actions have made me question a lot of our shared history. I find myself analyzing past interactions, wondering if there were signs I missed. I'm concerned about the possibility of Jake trying to contact Sarah or me once he's released, despite any legal restrictions that might be in place. I'm really struggling with this decision and its implications for the future. Any advice or outside perspective would be greatly appreciated. Am I the a-hole,